What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mac over here again on Positivity Central. And this video topic is going to be about 3 aspects I think that can improve your life greatly if you do them. Alright? And these foster self control and self discipline. Now, in life, how far you get, I believe, is really based on if you have self control and self discipline. If you notice, the stockbroker or the investor, what do they have? They have great sense of self-control and self-discipline. You know why? Because anything that requires patience and time requires self-discipline and patience and self-control, right? So you got all these aspects tying together. And it's not just your way you're thinking, your mindset. It's also your actions and what you do. All right? So, with that being said, it's safe to say that you need these 3 aspects in order to grow. Okay? So these 3 aspects that I'm referring to is, if you're a religious person, you will like this. If you're not religious at all, or you're atheist or any of those things, you may not like the content of this video. You can feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to, but you're not obligated to do so or watch this video. But being that you clicked on it, you must want something to learn from. So I hope you watch the entirety of this video so you can really see what you're about to learn. Alright? Okay. Now, let's get into it. Alright. Now, the main 3 aspects that I was referring to in the beginning is 3 things I like to call, fasting. You know what fasting is, I hope. If you don't, fasting is just simply the act of abstaining from food from a period of time. Or some people do water fasting. Some people do dry fasts or liquid fast. That's what I mean the water comes in. But to not overcomplicate that aspect, just make sure that you are fasting from food and or water if you choose to do so for a certain amount of time. That could be a day, that could be 2 days, 3 days, but I wouldn't exceed over 3 days. At that point, you're just kind of going overboard and you're going to put your system at risk. Okay? But feel free to do whatever you feel comfortable doing. Alright? Now that's fasting. Prayer is my next thing. In the Bible it speaks of fasting and praying. It strengthens the spirit. It strengthens the soul. So that means it's something you should probably partake in regularly. Okay? Now I'm not saying that you have to do this. Everything I suggest in my videos you don't have to do. But it does help you. The Bible wouldn't mention fasting and prayer if it wasn't beneficial to you. Now, a lot of people may say, well, the Bible, you may not believe in it. But I know a lot of people do. And if you look at the current times we are in, you would see a lot of things that happened throughout history, the Bible already foretold, and it has come to pass. All right? So it is a really good book to get into. If you ain't religious, you might want to consider getting religious. Okay? So that is prayer. Prayer is just simply getting on your knees or getting on the floor or just laying down in your bed or however you prefer to pray. Everyone has a different style of praying, but it's simply the act of praying and talking to God, talking to our Father Jesus Christ. It's simply praying and just telling him what's on your mind, how you feel about things, telling him that you love him, that you serve him, that he is our great Savior, and that you're just talking to him, having a relationship with him. Just like we humans interact with each other, we have relationships. God wants you to have a relationship with him as well. He wants you to talk to him, show him favor, show him time, give him his daily due time to talk to him. Okay? And then the last thing, it has to do with sexual desire. All right? Now, for men, there's a movement right now called semen retention, which is basically you retain your semen. You don't bust. You don't mess around. Okay? Now, with women, they don't have semen, obviously, but you can be celibate. It's just really the act of being celibate for an extended period of time. Just being pure in essence, almost. You have that childlike quality to you. As the longer you be celibate, the longer you maintain your semen if you're a man, the longer you can just grow spiritually. And all 3 aspects make you grow. They teach you self-discipline and self-control. Because what are the things that most people have a hard time with abstaining from? two of the biggest major factors for me is abstinence from women and food. Those are my two favorite pleasures. But you have to get to a point in life, we're all human. We all struggle with these things. I'm not perfect. And a reason I'm making this video, not just for the people that's watching, but for myself as well. I may watch my own videos and just trying to partake in the things that I say. Because sometimes these videos I be making, I feel like I be talking to myself and the people that are also watching. And I know a lot of other YouTubers say this as well. We may speak on things, but it ain't just for the viewers. It's for ourselves as well. It's things that we feel like we may need to grow in and understand more. So, with that being said, make sure that whatever it is you do in your life, make sure you're growing from it. Don't do anything that's counterproductive. Don't do anything that can hinder you later on. Everything has a consequence as well. I mean, think about it. If you don't have that self-discipline and self-control in your life, how can you walk accordingly? How can you be really, truly productive in your life if you're not being disciplined? Let's say this, for example. Let's bring up women again. Let's say that you talk to a lady and you happen to get her, you mess around and she happens to get pregnant. And now you have a woman pregnant that you don't even want. Do you see the consequences of your actions have just played out before you? You just had casual relations and now you have a consequence behind it. So you see, if you would have just abstained and been pure and just focused on yourself and improving, you would have never had this problem to deal with now. Or a blessing if you consider it a blessing. Children are amazing. Children are loving and pure spirits. But at the same time, it's not something you should do. It's not an act you should try to constantly do and have accidents either. Some things can be best avoided. So when I say these things, don't take it personally because, I've failed at it too at times. I hope you're watching this video to grow from it. But those are the three major aspects that I consider people should be doing right now, especially with the coronavirus running rampant and people being scared. That's what the major part of this virus is making it so big and famous is the scared factor. It's a pandemic. It's crazy. It's highly contagious. It's making people freak out in a way that I've never seen people freak out before. Like, I've never seen a news, something like this happen before. Like, the news is broadcasting it every single day, almost all day long about this virus. But I understand being updated on the news, but people watching this is going to make people freak out about just someone having a common cold. Do you see? If someone just has a slight cough, sneeze, just have a little stuffy nose, if someone has any illness whatsoever, people are going to say, you have the virus, you have the virus. Do you see? And that's making people scared. And if people just cough wrong, someone might feel like they have the virus and they're going to get angry with them. Eventually people are going to start resulting to violence due to this. So at all times, you guys, you got to be aware of what's going on around you and make sure that you're doing things that are productive to your life and to those you love. Don't think about you're losing out if you're just not eating, stuff like that. But think about the benefits of it. Think about how you're going to help someone else. Let's say this. Let's go back to women, for example. Let's say that you want that woman, right? You want her really bad, but you only want her for a sexual desire. Now, because of that, and you get this, let's say you do get this woman, right? Let's say you end up with her, but you end up getting this woman, and you get to use her for her sexual desire, which is what you wanted, right? And then you just drop her. Now, that benefited you sexually, but didn't benefit her at all. Did it help her grow? Did it help her become a better person? Now, I understand if it's mutual agreement, sex is consensual. Both parties have to agree to even mess around in the first place. But are you both agreeing on the consequences as well? Are you both considering the long-term effects of your actions? Are you both considering if she ended up pregnant, would you want to stick around? Would you want to be that father of that child? Would you want to be there with her? Would you want her to be your wifey one day? These are all important aspects we have to consider. And just same as with food. Let's say you overindulge in food too much, right? And you eat too much. you know that food you're overeating on, you could save for another day. Like, let's say you eat twice the amount of food you should eat daily. Well, why don't you save some of that food for the next day? And then boom, let's say at the end of the week, you have tons more groceries in your house by not just being more disciplined in your eating habits. So you see how all these things can pan out and have way more better effects for you. And also earlier I mentioned something called semen retention, right? Well, that semen retention and that purity for the females, it's making you spiritually grow. It's making you more attractive. Because a man, when he retains a seed, he becomes more attractive. His testosterone levels skyrocket. His sperm count skyrockets. His confidence. He has less anxiety, less worries. He's becoming more, in essence, of a true man. So you see how powerful that is? I think every man should want to be a true man. You know what I mean? So with all this being said, you guys, just make sure that you're always doing things that are helping you grow in the ways you want to grow. Okay? Now, I've mentioned again that the main three aspects of the whole point of this video was fasting, prayer, and semen retention if you're a guy, and celibacy if you're a girl. Those are the three main things. But, I mean, everyone, you do what you want to do. It's your life, right? And with the way the world's going, you may not have very long, we may not have very much more time here. Excuse me. So, you just got to kind of like live the life that you feel like is set for you. But you should always operate from wisdom. And if you do those three things that I mentioned, you're operating in wisdom. And wisdom is the key way to having a good life. Not just, you may feel like in the short term of things that it's horrible, that it sucks. But in the long term things, it's going to be amazing. Just think about it. Let's say this is exercising wisdom. Let's say this financially, right? Let's say you want to go buy something that you don't need. Let's say you go buy some video games, right? Let's say you go buy a $300 video game system. All right. Now that's $300 gone that you could have saved in your bank account. And that $300, you, instead of just saving in a bank account, you could have invested it in something that could have made you more money. Like, let's say you invested it, this is just an example. Let's say you bought $300 worth of water bottles or toilet paper right now. And then you flip the market of those sales, like of the stuff you just bought. So let's say you bought a 36 count of water and you sold each water for $1. You just flipped a potential $5 purchase into a $36 purchase. Do you see the difference? Do you see how you can just capitalize on money so easily? And yet people waste their money on buying things such as video games, porn, so many other things that you waste your money on. Fast food is horrible for you as well. It's counterproductive to good health. Yeah, it's quick and easy, but it's counterproductive because it's usually full of fats, things you don't need in your body. Okay? So from now on, I know I'm going to try this way more, way more, to operate from wisdom versus just doing what I want to do with my life because it feels good. Because doing things that may feel good aren't really good for you in the long term. You got to think of both aspects. Is it good for me in the long term? And does it feel good? Now that's a win-win. And that's what everybody wants, right? But I'm not going to make this video too long, you guys. This is probably one of the longest videos I've probably ever made on this channel. But I'm be making more and more consistent videos every single day. So check out for that. But that's it for this video, you guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you gained something from it. I hope you gained some good wisdom from this video. Because I know I'm sitting here making this video for you guys right now. And I hope you can feel the essence that's coming off of me about like how much I'm resonating with my own talk on what I'm saying to you. Because I'm taking it in as I'm saying it to you. And that's interesting how that works. But anyway, you guys, I hope you gained something from the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I love you guys. Y'all take care. And I'm going to see you in the next video. Alright? See y'all later. Peace.